cannot believe that it is 2025. Feels like a weird year to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's like because it's not an even number, but it's just weird. 2025 sounds odd. But welcome to the new year. Welcome back to Growing Up is Weird. If you're new here, hello. Thank you for joining. If not, hello again. A lot has happened since I have last recorded an episode. I feel like I've lived a million lives in the past 2 weeks because I went to New York. If you have been following along on my socials, I was there for about a week or so ish, like 5 days. Staying with my really good friend Annika, shout out, love her. And I was doing a few photo shoots, and I did one for Growing Up is Weird. And that is something that I am so excited about. It's a project that kind of has been in thought for a while, but actually getting to be in New York and shooting a photo shoot and doing something for the pod that I don't know, like it's just crazy to me. Like I don't even know how to put it into words. Like I feel like I we're gonna jump right into deepness right here. 2025, jumping right into the realness. I feel like I started this podcast in April of last year, and I kind of just started it because it was something that I, wanted to do for a while and was passionate about, and I never really thought that anyone would really like take it seriously, but doing that photo shoot and shout out Hiccup, shout out Jamina, you guys are amazing, and having it be in an issue of a magazine in New York City is crazy. Like it's insane. Like I am so grateful for my connections that I have made, and because Hiccup, I met him at SCAD. He graduated this past year, and he's a photographer, and he's so talented, and he has a magazine. It's called Puck Mag. Go check it out. He's the best. We have this whole theme to do like Y2K because, like growing up, and I'm so excited for that issue to come out and to, I don't know, like it's just crazy. So that is kind of the biggest thing that has happened the past 2 weeks. And also when I was in New York, I did another photo shoot with one of my good friends from SCAD as well. And just like being in the city and being able to start the new year on like such a good note, it like honestly brought me to tears. Like I needed that so much because from like October through I want to say December, I dealt with a lot of shit, and I just really needed that. I needed to be on a rooftop with one of my best friends in New York City starting off 2025. Like we're sitting on her fire escape on the last night and just like talking, and I literally like almost started crying because I was like, I just can't believe like this is how I'm starting 2025, and it's just like manifesting in real life. And it just brought such good vibes to the new year, and I just started off so happy and so well and so good, doing what I love with really cool people. So that is just a lot of gratitude for the beginning of this week's episode. A lot of deepness that just occurred there, but that is just what I really wanted to share because I was really happy these past few weeks. I have been happy these past few weeks. There's been a lot going on. Came back to school. It was kind of crazy though. It was insane. Like I slept the first night that I could like sleep in. I slept until noon. I never like actually sleep to noon. Like sometimes I'm like in bed until like 11:30, but like I never actually like wake up at noon. So that was crazy. I needed the sleep so bad because it was the holidays, and then I was working, and then I was in New York, and then I took a train back from New York to Philly the morning of the 2nd. I drove down to Savannah by myself from Philly on the 3rd. So I like literally was in New York for like 5 days, got right in the car and came down and started school basically 2 days later. And here we are, 3 days into the quarter, and it has already been crazy. My first day, Monday, 2 days ago, I was working from 9 a.m. to 8, pretty much, out of the house. But I'm like so excited for what's to come in 2025. Like I just feel like good things are happening and good things are coming, and that is the vibes that we need. With all that being said, though, let's get to the purpose of this week's episode, which is the ins and outs of 2025. Because last year, this was a huge trend. Like, in and outs of 2024, I remember that being a huge trend. But even though it's not really trending this year, I think it's something that is really like kind of lighthearted and just like fun to be like things that you're leaving in the like 2024 and the things that you're bringing into the new year. And today I made a list of my personal ins and outs, and some of them are serious and some of them are not. And I was gonna make this on TikTok like very short, and I probably still will, but I wanted to do a whole episode on it because I was gonna do like things I learned recently. I was gonna talk about that today, but I don't know, I kind of wanted to do something fun. So here we go, ins and outs 2024. 2024, yeah, that's where my head's at. I literally am still in the past year. But ins and outs of 2025, let's get right into it. We're gonna go ins and then outs. Like, we'll just go like back and forth, I guess. My first in is not gonna be a surprise to anyone because I have been talking about this a lot recently. Pinterest. I so recommend Pinterest to everyone. I feel like a lot of the times people can be like, oh, like, I don't really need Pinterest. Like, I don't know, like, it seems like it might just be for like artists, whatever. But like, visually manifesting on Pinterest is like the best thing that I have like done recently. And I think it's really helped a lot with like bringing me peace and like letting me visualize, because that is a huge part of, just visualizing what you want to do for your future. So Pinterest is a huge in. I think it is amazing. Like, literally, Pinterest sponsor me. I love it. I think it's going to be like my most used social media platform. Actually, that's not true. Instagram will always take the cake, but I think it's going to be like one of my most used because I love it so much. I love my little boards on there. I take them very seriously. Go follow me on there. It's Fiona Amos 4. I'll leave it in the show notes and I'll also put it on the screen. But go follow me on there because I love my boards. Yeah, so Pinterest, huge, huge in. Out. This may be controversial. Bows. I don't like the bows. It's not that I don't like them necessarily. I don't know. I think when they're all over a shirt or they're like everywhere, I just think it's too much. Like, I love a little like bow in the hair or like a little bow on your bag or like a tiny bow like on your shirt. But like, I feel like the bows have just like overcome like everything now. Like, it was a trend for a while and then it just kind of like stayed, like it never really like fizzled out. It just kind of like stayed in this like weird like, oh, is it trending? Is it not? Is it a thing? Are people still doing that? And I just don't like it. I'm sorry. Like, I know that's like no hate to anyone who likes the whole bow situation, but like the pink bow, like I don't like it. I like, unless it's like cute and dainty, but like bows everywhere is just too much. It's too much. Like, I think that should be left in 2024, and I feel very strongly about that. So, yeah. Okay, so another in is, we're kind of like moving through these fast, but there's a few. Another in is reflection. I think that everyone needs to reflect on their past, their present, and their future. And that is something that I am trying to do because I think a lot of the time people can kind of like move past things very easily and just very much like be like, okay, that happened, like next thing. But for me, what I've been liking to do recently is like reflecting on a situation or being like, oh, like, what did I learn from that? Like, what did I get out of that? Like, what do I want to do in the future based on that situation? Like, this can be like with anything, like situations with people, situations with work, projects, anything, like reflecting on what you do and being very like purposeful in what you do. And that's another thing, like doing everything with a purpose. And that is something that I'm trying to do this year because I've talked about this maybe before, but like my freshman year of college, I was very much saying yes to everything. Like, I kind of still do, but like I'm trying to get better at being like, I need to prioritize what actually is going to benefit me in terms of my career. That kind of goes hand in hand with reflection because it's like after you finish a project, for example, being like, okay, like what did I gain out of that? Would I want to do something like that in the future again? And I think that's something that not a lot of people think about. And I think it's something that is definitely an in for 2025 because reflecting and being self aware in all aspects of life is very, very important. So, yeah. And another out, designer. I think I have a lot of strong opinions about designer because, like, I get it. Like, it's like the name, like Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton. Like, I fully understand. Like, it's about the name, but I think that we should kind of step away from like thinking that it like matters so much. And I know that honestly is not that realistic. Like high fashion, I love high fashion. Like truly, I like high fashion. I like designer. But like the whole idea of like it's almost like a status. I was talking about this in my business class actually. The reason why people like designer is because it shows status. It shows that you know, have money and you're fancy and it kind of gives off there's something actually special about the bags. They're not like some like rare artifact. You know what I mean? It's like more the name. And I think designer is something that I just like hope as a society we can like leave it as like a it's really cool to look at. Like I love Prada. Like I went into the Prada store in New York and I was in shit. Like I was like, "Oh my god, like this is beautiful." But it's almost like something that I love to look at and like see and not necessarily something that's like okay, like I'm going to buy that just so like I can show people that I have Prada and that I like have money. Like I think it's very much like again, being purposeful like with like why you're buying it, you know? And it's like I understand like celebrities like they go to Prada like for fashion week or whatever and like that's totally different, but I think like an everyday normal person like going and buying Louis Vuitton just to say they have Louis Vuitton is like that's an out. So it's kind of like mixed opinions there for me, but I think the overall idea of designer is just like kind of an out for me personally. Kind of except for Prada. Like I just have such a soft spot for Prada. Like I love Prada, but I do also have strong opinions about designer as a whole. That's something that's like been on my mind because I've talked about it in class and with my friend recently. So it's just kind of and I went to the Prada store in New York. So it's just been on the mind. It's been on the mind. And then another in for 2025 is chic outfits. And I know I just said an out is designer, but they're different. And let me explain. I love like the black and white and like pleated pants vibe with like a nice like turtleneck. Like I don't know, like I just love like the chic like throw a leather jacket over a sweater with like jeans. Like I love that. And I know it's like not crazy special, but like very chic, very like okay girl boss, like business attire. Like I think that is such an in and I feel like it is kind of coming in. Like I was talking to Heather, my best friend, and we were in Zara and she goes, "When did our generation stop wearing like crop tops and like booty shorts?" Like I mean, we just grew up like realistically, like that's what happened, but like I feel like a lot more people are dressing more like elegant and chic and minimalist, and I'm here for it, and I think we should keep bringing it in because I love it. Yeah. And another out, this is gonna come as kind of obviously, and I've made a whole episode on this before, but comparison. And this is something that I'm kind of back and forth with, like doing it myself, like comparing myself to other people. And I think it's something that overall we just need to like stop doing because I saw this quote on this girl's computer today actually, like in the class that I had, and it was like comparison is some like what did it say? Oh my god, I'm literally like stupid. I like had this I have it in my brain. It's like comparison kills productivity, I think. Something like that. And I was like, period. Yeah. Because if you're constantly comparing yourself, especially on social media, like social media is not real. Like it can be, and obviously there are creators that like are real and like I try my best to like be 100% myself and, you know, like not edit my photos and all that thing, all that and all that kind of stuff. But like comparison, I think overall, and like because I think a lot of negativity can come out of comparison. It can come with jealousy, and then you can act a certain way subconsciously because you're jealous of someone or because you're comparing yourself to them so much. You can act in ways that you wouldn't normally act subconsciously. And I think there's just a lot of negative stuff that can come out of it. So that's definitely an out. And then another in is, these kind of go hand in hand, but like self-sufficiency and like independence and like doing things by yourself. Because I think kind of as a society and like me actually, I am so bad at like doing things by myself. Like I hate doing things by myself, but I think more recently I have been trying to, because I think there's a lot to say about like being able to like sit by yourself and like have a night in by yourself, like literally get home at like 4 p.m. and then just like stay by yourself until you go to bed. Like independence, doing things alone, and self-sufficiency, I think is a huge thing that, nowadays everyone wants to be doing something constantly. Everyone wants to be like, having fun, going out with their friends, being loud, being busy, working, like, but I think, it's taking a second to like check in with yourself and being alone and doing things by yourself. Like not being like alone, like sitting in your bed doing nothing, but like, I saw this TikTok that was like things I do alone and like rating the scariness of them or something like that. And it was like going to the movies, 0 out of 10, like not scary at all. And then it was like going ice skating, 0 out of 10. And then it was like, I forget all of them, but you get the gist of it. And then at the end of the TikTok, it was like, do things alone. No one cares. And I was like, yeah, like that's so true. I think that is something that a lot of people need to start doing more. And in 2025, I think that that's a huge in, because I think, and I do think that a lot of people are starting to do that, and a lot of people are starting to like very much promote like doing stuff on your own and being alone. It's definitely something that I have been wanting to do more. And I think I've been getting better at it. Finally, the last out is doom scrolling. Doom scrolling is something that I have had trouble with in the past few months, because I kind of have a tendency to, when I am like dealing with something hard, or if I'm like really stressed out, I'll just start doom scrolling. And I'm like, I catch myself, I'm like, why am I just scrolling on TikTok right now? Like I was in the middle of like working. And I think that's something that I'm not alone in at all. Like I think a lot of people, especially in college, like deal with that. And that is something that is definitely an out. Doom scrolling. Like I think it's not healthy, and you can just get caught in like a rabbit hole of like TikTok, and like with the possibility of a TikTok ban, which is a whole other discussion. I don't even think it's gonna get banned, but if it does, then we can look back on this and laugh at me, because whatever. But I'm like constantly scrolling on TikTok with like no actual like rhyme or reason, just like looking at TikToks. Like, yeah, of course, like sometimes it can be mindless and like get your mind off things, but like instead of like going to bed, you're like doom scrolling. That's like, don't do that. And I've been trying to get better at this for sure. Like either reading or, like at night drinking tea, or even going on Pinterest. Like I feel like scrolling on Pinterest isn't necessarily like doom scrolling, because at least for me personally, because I have like purpose in it. And this kind of goes back to the whole like reflection and doing things with purpose, is like when I'm scrolling on Pinterest, I'm doing it because I want to, manifest or like make a vision board or like add to my like future pin. And I think there's just like in general needs to be more purpose in what everyone's doing. Like I am very much trying to look at everything that I'm doing, and like on a daily basis, like big things and small things, like everyday things and like work related things, and be like, why am I doing this? Is it gonna benefit me? And is it gonna benefit my career? Is it gonna benefit my well-being? And just like doing everything with purpose. And that is, I think, the biggest like umbrella of like the biggest in of 2025 is just doing everything with purpose and like for yourself. And that is like what I am trying to accomplish this year, is being self-sufficient, being independent, and just doing things alone, and doing things alone with purpose. No matter if that's, for my career, for my mental health, or anything. And I think that's honestly like they kind of all come together in a sense for all the ins at least. And then the outs are like, like comparison. And then like I have like bows and doom scrolling in there and like designer. But you get the point. But bows for real are I can't with the bows. I'm sorry. Like I truly can't. Like I'm trying to be nice about it, but like I really don't like them. I really don't. Um I also just don't like pink that much. And I know what all of you are thinking right now. Fiona, your colors of your podcast are green and pink. What are you saying? But it's different. I don't like pink on its own, like just as a, like an outfit. Like I don't know. Like I know it totally goes against my entire colors of my podcast. I understand that completely and I sound crazy. However, like I just don't like pink decor. Like I don't know. I just don't. And like when it's a bow, it's just I don't like it. I don't. And some people love it and can pull it off. Like I know this one girl and her whole thing is pink and I'm like, period. Like she rocks it. But like I can't. Personally, I can't. And my best friend Heather, again, she loves pink. It's her favorite color. But like that's her. But like for me personally, I can't do the pink. I can't do the bows. But because it's growing up as weird, like green and pink, it's like different. I don't know. I don't know, but you understand what I'm saying. But with all that being said, I have a lot of things that are going to be happening this year. And they're good things, obviously. Like, I'm not planning on anything bad happening, but like, life happens. And I am just trying to do things for myself independently on my own and succeed in what I want to do. Because I think at the end of the day, like, my career and my success personally, like for myself, is what makes me get out of bed every day. And that working hard for my career and what I want to do is something that no one can ever take away from me. And I started to realize that recently. It's like almost everything in life can be taken away from you in a second, but your degree and your career really can't be. So, and that was so motivational. I'm proud of that statement. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoy this first episode of 2025 because I'm trying to start it off on a good note. And being in New York City to start 2025 was like the greatest thing to ever exist. And I'm like trying to roll with that high. But yeah, I'm expecting to go back to New York in March, hopefully, during spring break. So yeah, stay tuned for more content for that in like 3 months. And yeah, stay tuned for updates on a lot of stuff that's gonna be happening. I'm so excited. Okay. But if you're not already, make sure to, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you want to hear. Follow me on socials. They're all linked in the show notes. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.